Well, hi everyone. I'm John Ritlin with a retro review of WWE King of the Ring 2000, aka How Did Shane Not Die on that chokeslam spot? Sweet Christ, 20 years later, and it's still painful to watch. It's hilarious to watch, but it's also painful to watch, but also hilarious. How was the pay-per-view? Not good. This was actually one of the few dark spots that WWE had in their 2000 calendar year. Now, yes, Raw, SmackDown were here and there. There were hot crowds. Some shows weren't as good as others, but they were rolling in 2000. They were just steamrolling WCW. They were just absolutely crushing them. I mean, granted, WCW had Russo in charge, so they were doomed from the start. And especially since the reboot episode, I've been doing reviews of Nitro and Thunder and the pay-per-views since the reboot episode. I'm regretting that. So it was nice to watch WWE stumble a bit. Now, this wasn't necessarily the worst pay-per-view I've seen because that was like King of the Ring 1995. That was an absolute atrocity. And here's why this one didn't necessarily work. While the crowd was hot and the main event did have some interwoven stories, the tournament was very, very short. None of the matches went over 10 minutes. One of the matches, a couple of them actually barely cracked 4 minutes. And for a tournament, yes, they have to wrestle 3 times, so I get it. You want to have shorter matches. It just didn't exactly help the King of the Ring concept seem like, great. I mean, they had a great winner in comparison to 1999. Sorry, Billy Gunn. As good as he was, him winning, they did absolutely nothing with him afterwards. So, hey, at least Kurt Angle was a pretty good winner. But anyway, so the pay-per-view won. Missed unique pay-per-view sets. Rikishi, who was the Intercontinental Champion at this time, took on Chris Benoit. And, well, after a few minutes, Benoit got angry that Rikishi did not tap out to the crippler crossface. Again, if the referee had been there, he could have signaled for the bell. But anyway, he hits him with a chair. And JR says at one point, Benoit going for the neck and shoulder, which is a line that just has not aged well at all. He just keeps attacking him with the crossface, and so Rikishi's selling that throughout the entire night. Vince, Shane, Triple H, and Stephanie are talking, and Vince says, I'm cool, I'm Joe Cool. I have no idea what he's on about. But that's because Shane, Triple H, and Vince are part of a 6-man tag main event, where the winner becomes the WWE champion. I mean, Triple H is a champion, but if Kane, Taker, or Rock cover either Vince or Shane, then Triple H loses the championship. It still wasn't as bad as when David Arquette became champion, even though he did great things with his payoff, but anyway, that's all in the past. Just like this pay-per-view. Val Venis versus Eddie Guerrero with China. Also, Val Venis had Trish in his corner. And a weird dubstep theme. It was really, really odd. So, King of the Ring quarterfinal match. The match actually had some nice moments. This was one of the better King of the Ring tournament matches. There was a nice superplex spot. Trish and China, almost said Lita. Trish and Lita, they get involved in the match later, but Trish and China got involved. China, even at one point, clocking Val Venis. But in the end, he would get a fisherman suplex. 1, 2, 3. He would advance. Shockingly, Eddie Guerrero did not advance. Benoit and Guerrero did not advance in this tournament. So that shows how, great, oh yeah, guys, come over, we're going to use you for WCW and everything, and a few months later, they're jobbing out. To be fair, they were being featured better, and Eddie had his issues. He had to clean up, thankfully, and he did. But it's just weird, all the radicals, they, just were not using them well at all. Malenko and Saturn weren't even on this card. Pat Patterson is looking at dresses because we get Patterson versus Brisco in a hardcore championship evening gown match. Because Vince McMahon hates the wrestling fans, even in the Attitude Era. Crash Holly versus Bull Buchanan. Bull Buchanan beat the shit out of Crash Holly, and eventually Crash got a half Nelson cradle 1, 2, 3. I mean, he hit some moves, but Crash Holly was like doing the underdog story. He got the victory. Vince then yells at Linda. That's pretty much all it was right there, because Linda McMahon had come back from TV. She wasn't in her catatonic state, which is Linda's normal state on TV. Have you seen her? She has the personality of a wet blanket. It's absolutely just mind-blowing. Anyway, so we get Kurt Angle versus Chris Jericho, or Kirk Angel, as Jericho calls him, and this is the best of the quarterfinal matches. Good action, everything. Both these guys work well together. Stephanie did get involved, and because Jericho been calling her, disgusting, brutal, bottom-feeding, trash bag hoe, did a whole bunch of stuff like he'd called her, a lot of other stuff that he called her. And then she tries to get involved, and he kisses her, and, it's like, and JR says, Jericho just kissed a married woman. That's right. What kind of guy would kiss or especially sleep with a married woman? It's a good thing I've never done that. yeah, I'm not a good guy. Anyway, moving on from that. So, an angle slam, 1, 2, 3. Well, they call it the Olympic slam. I call it the angle slam, 1, 2, 3. And then we show shots of WWF New York. Remember that? Remember that money pit? Mick Foley's there. Ivory's a bartender. Ivory still looks good even now. But, I mean, always look good anyway. But it was weird how they didn't really use her all that much in the ring by 2000. Then again, to be fair, they weren't really using their women very well. I mean, Trish and Lita would rise up out of this. They had a lot of women. They had some women they could have used better, and they didn't. Or if they used women, they were in things like, when Terry Runnels took on the Cat in a match. And Terry Runnels, bless her, great promo, very good skills, and very passionate about wrestling, but she had to work with the Cat, who was no good in the ring. So, Edge and Christian versus Too Cool versus the Hardys. Versus TNA. That WWF New York segment, by the way, meant nothing. This is a 4-way elimination match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Cool. Okay, whatever. It was what it was. Edge and Christian since they're in Boston, did, for the benefit of those with flash photography, and did the Bill Buckner thing, because this is before the Red Sox reversed the curse, which was one of the best goddamn moments in MLB playoff history. That was fucking tremendous. That was great to see the Red Sox reverse the curse. But anyway, Trish and Lita get involved in some spots. Matt eventually pins Test 1, 2, 3. And then it's, we get, the Unprettier, the kill switch soon after. And Matt gets pinned, so it's down to Too Cool and Edge and Christian. And then, man, it's big old schmoz and everything. Christian gets involved. Grandmaster gets hit in the neck or whatever, and he goes completely limp and gets pinned 1, 2, 3. So there we go. Wouldn't be the last time for him either. But anyway, so Edge and Christian win the tag team championships, or I actually don't remember who were the tag team champions here because I totally blanked out because I didn't give a shit here. But Edge and Christian would then go on to defend them in the first ever TLC match at SummerSlam. So was the match bad? No, but is it forgettable? It's pretty forgettable. So, we then get Rikishi versus Val Venis, King of the Ring semifinal match. So, Val Venis works on Rikishi's shoulder for a bit. The match is under 4 minutes. Belly to belly, 1, 2, 3. So, Rikishi wins. Cool. Hooray! And then we get Val using steps on Rikishi because he tried to go for... Well, he stopped Rikishi from going for a bonsai drop on Trish, bit dark. And then hit him with the steps and laid him out and stuff like that. So, he's still selling the shoulder. Rikishi's going to come out in a full body cast at some point. And then Briscoe tells Coach to shut up and then gets his evening gown and his pumps for the evening gown match because Vince McMahon hates the fans. So Crash Holly versus Kurt Angle, King of the Ring semifinal match. Winner faces Rikishi, and while Crash got in some moves, it was an angle slam 1, 2, 3. 4 minutes, a little under 4 minutes. It was fast paced. So it wasn't bad. It was better than the Rikishi Val Venis match. Then again, I could think of a lot of things better than the Rikishi Val Venis match even in 2000. Then we get footage of an MSG show where Trump was in the crowd and the fans should have been allowed to throw trash at this idiot. So, yeah, that was it. Whatever. MSG. That's back when MSG actually was only running WWE shows before New Japan and Ring of Honor went in there and, New Japan kicked the doors down and everything and blew the roof off the joint. And Ring of Honor just made fans sit there. So, anyway, Pat Patterson versus Gerald Briscoe, hardcore evening gown match for the hardcore championship. Pat Patterson deserved to be embarrassed, by the way, because of the piece of shit that he is. And Briscoe ain't necessarily, he may be a great tag team wrestler. Pat Patterson may be the first ever Intercontinental Champion, but you know what? Yeah, well, they were stooges for a reason. They deserved to be humiliated, and this match was humiliating. The crowd wanted it to end before it started. And this thing may have only gone 3 minutes, but it felt like it went 3 years. It was an embarrassment. It was a goddamn embarrassment. Thankfully, the crowd was really booing heavily. Crash came down, cracked Pat Patterson in the head with a garbage can. He should have hit him a few more times for all the scandals that he wasn't involved in. He clearly had nothing to do with them, except he did. Read up about it. And then, so he hits Pat Patterson over the head with a garbage can. 1, 2, 3. So Crash Holly wins the hardcore championship, and this was all pointless. Really, really goddamn pointless. The Dudleys versus Road Dogg, X-Pac, and Tori. So you have the two least members of DX and X-Pac. X-Pac, who's actually talented. Well, that's unfair to Tori. Tori was cast where she was. She wasn't going to be anything more than just somebody that just got her shit wrecked, mainly. I really sound white saying that. Road Dogg, it didn't matter if he won or lost here, because guess what? Wins and losses don't matter to, the Armstrong Santa. That's basically what he is now. Have you seen Road Dogg recently? So, it was a handicap dumpster match. You have to win by putting all your opponents in the dumpster. At one point, Tori was down and the ref was checking on her, and the Dudleys were put in the dumpster. And so they should have been over halfway, half the time. But nope, they got out the side panel that they apparently have in dumpsters and crawled down the ring and then crawled back, hit chair shots on them, were laying out everybody. They laid them out through tables, were going to lay out Tori through a table, and then they got hit with chairs, put in the dumpster, and DX, in the biggest quotations possible, won. But then X-Pac got laid out with a 3D. Road Dogg got laid out with a 3D. And Tori got laid out with, with a table bomb. She got wood all over her back because objectifying women in the Attitude Era was fun. Good thing they don't do that anymore. Except they totally do. But, yeah, this wasn't very good. We then get Angle versus Rikishi. Look, Rikishi tried. He did some good stuff. There were a few near falls. He did do the sit-out bomb thing that he did to get a 2 count. A really close 2 count, but then a belly off the ropes. Rikishi was really holding his shoulder. I think he might have actually hurt his shoulder here. 1, 2, 3. And that's it, basically. That's it. King Kurt has been born, and he would then win the WWF Championship from Rock at No Mercy. So, the multi-man match, multi-6-man match, as opposed to a non-multi-6-man match. Kane, Undertaker, Rock versus Triple H, Shane, and Vince. With Stephanie. Stephanie was there because she served no purpose. Stephanie served no purpose in 2000, and she serves no purpose now on TV. So, 6-man tag, WWF Championship, and they were chanting slut at Stephanie. I mean, they were doing the same on WCW programming to Kimberly, so I guess it was their dueling chant for women they didn't like, which was quite a few of the women, to be honest, because crowds were kind of jackasses. And I've heard that at indie shows, and oh boy, those guys got shut down quickly. But anyway, so mainly this is a brawl and everything. Could Kane, Undertaker, and Rock get along? No, they couldn't. And they started brawling. Kane went nuts. He even chokeslammed Rock. Triple H is looking like, yeah, we got him on our team, and then he gets tombstone, and he's about to cover Triple H. And this is my favorite sequence here, so I'm just gonna toss my notes there. But Undertaker, lays Kane out, shoves him in the steps, goes and gets a chair, whacks Kane over the head. And then Shane, I think, was going to dive on Rock, but Shane is on the top. Taker grabs him and looks at the announcer's table. And I remember watching this on pay-per-view, and I'm like, he just round choke slams him. And Shane didn't die on that choke slam, fortunately. That's actually a very good thing. I don't know how he didn't die, because that was something else. Shane is absolutely insane, especially in a match involving Kane. Boy, I really stretched that motherfucker out like a gynecologist, with his last appointment to get to that joke. So there we were with that. And so that big choke slam. And so Undertaker, mind you, is able-bodied and is just looking around like while this is going on. Rock's laid out. Vince tries to run the ropes. He still runs the ropes better than Kelly did, which, to be fair, I mean, a gazelle with no legs could run the ropes better than Kelly and the Bellas. But moving on, we get Vince trying to people's elbow. Rock bottom, 1, 2, 3. Rock wins the WWF Championship, holds it until No Mercy when he drops it to Kurt Angle, then wins it back at No Way Out 2001, and then loses it to Austin at Mania. So, was it a fun show? I mean, look, the crowd was hot. The show wasn't all that great, but you know what? I did enjoy the main event. It wasn't great, but it was a lot of fun. It was stupid. And again, Shane didn't die on that choke slam, so that's always a plus. So anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.